There are two kinds of designers. There's a designer who's always working on something, sketching, researching, collecting inspiration, learning new tools, but somehow never quite gets a collection or project off the ground. And then there's the designer who moves, who takes a concept from idea to execution without getting stuck in the in between. The difference between those two designers isn't talent or experience, it's not even tools. The difference is something more specific. And today, I want to give it and the designer who has it a name. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikkel Drew Pelham. I talk about digital fashion design tools, how to communicate your ideas clearly, and how to turn creativity into a sustainable fashion business. If you're tired of guessing what fashion software to use, what skills to learn, and what actually matters as you build your brand, this channel is for you. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can keep learning with me. I've been using the term digital artisan for a while now, but I've never really defined it. And I think it's time because the more I work with independent designers, the more I see a clear line between the ones who are building something real and the ones who are still circling the vision. So that's what this video is, a definition, and maybe by the end of it, a mirror. I want you to watch this and know clearly and without question whether this is who you are or who you're becoming. A digital artisan is not just a designer who knows how to use software. They've got three specific characteristics working together. And the first one is the foundation that everything is built on. The first is they're rooted in craft. A digital artisan understands that at the end of the day, we're making physical product, not pretty pictures, not renders, not content. Physical garments that have to be constructed, that have to fit a real body, that have to survive a production process and land in someone's hands as something they actually want to wear. That distinction matters more than people think, especially right now when it's easier than ever to generate something that looks incredible on the screen and has no path to ever being made. A digital artisan doesn't confuse the visual for the product. They understand that the digital tools are in service of the physical outcome, not a replacement for it. That means the foundation, the craft, is non-negotiable. Understanding how fabric behaves, knowing how a garment is constructed, being able to look at a pattern and understand what it's going to do on a body. The digital tools amplify that knowledge. They don't substitute for it. And a digital artisan knows the difference. The second thing is that a digital artisan uses tools with intention, not collecting every new software that drops, not jumping between platforms because someone on YouTube said it was a game changer, knowing exactly which tool to reach for, at which part of the process and why, and then doing it, not sitting on it. And sidebar, I'm not talking about testing software to see what works best for you, but if you've got 5 different software subscriptions and you barely use even one of them, that's a problem, friend. Here's what that looks like in practice. If you're in ideation mode, you're probably not opening Clo yet. You're sketching, you're building your concept boards, you're working through the creative direction. If you're in validation mode, you're not documenting yet. You're seeing the design on a body, perhaps using an AI tool. You're testing fit in Clo or some other 3D fashion design software. And you're making sure the design works before you invest in production. And when you're ready for documentation, you're communicating that design with precision. Drawing your flat sketches in Illustrator, creating your tech packs, your spec sheets, your BOMs in Illustrator, Excel, maybe even a PLM software. You're making sure that what you hand off is what actually gets made. The tools aren't the point. The sequence is the point. And a digital artisan understands that. The third characteristic is that a digital artisan thinks like a brand builder, not just a designer. They understand that creativity alone doesn't build a sustainable fashion business. They speak the language of manufacturers. They understand their numbers. They know how to communicate their ideas professionally so that the people they work with, the factories, buyers, collaborators, all take them seriously. What does that look like concretely? They can hand off a tech pack that a manufacturer can actually work from. They can have a productive conversation with a factory without feeling lost. They can price their product without guessing and know whether their collection is commercially viable before they go into production. They understand design and execution. And that's what separates a designer with a vision from a designer with a brand. Now, if we're talking about what a digital artisan is, it's just as important to understand what a digital artisan is not. A digital artisan is not someone who's collecting tools without a direction, who has subscriptions to 10 different platforms and hasn't finished a single project in any of them, who's always learning but not quite applying. They're not someone who's treating their brand as a someday project, who talks about launching their collection for the third year in a row, but the collection is still sitting in a concept board folder, who's waiting for the perfect moment that never quite arrives. They're not someone who's leaning on digital tools to cover gaps in their foundational knowledge, who's generating beautiful renders, but couldn't tell you how the garment gets made. The tools are only as powerful as the craft knowledge behind them. But here's what I want you to hear clearly. Being a digital artisan is not about how far along you are or even your skill level. A beginner who is serious about building something real, who's committed to learning the craft and doing the work, is absolutely a digital artisan in the making. Someone with 10 years of experience who's still dabbling, still not committing, still treating this like a hobby, that's a different story. The only thing that determines whether this is you is your intention. Are you building something real, or are you just playing around with the idea of it? So, where do you land? Are you the designer who is rooted in craft, who uses tools with purpose, who's building towards something real with the business thinking to back it up? Or are you still circling the vision, collecting tools, waiting for the right moment? And listen, there's no judgment in that question, but there is honesty, because what's coming next is specifically for the designer who can say, yes, that's me, or yes, that's who I'm committed to becoming. I've been building something, and I've been building it specifically for the digital artisan, the designer who is serious, who is committed, and who is ready to stop figuring it out alone. 383 Digital Fashion Design School is becoming a place where designers like you can learn the tools, build the workflows, develop the business thinking, and do all of it inside a community of designers who hold each other to a higher standard. Designers who show up, share their wins, ask the hard questions, and push each other closer to actually executing the vision. It's not a place for dabblers. It's not a place for people who are just curious. It's a place for designers who are ready to build. In a couple of days, the doors will open to the next iteration of 383 Digital Fashion Design School. And if this video resonated with you, if you heard yourself in any of what I described, I'll have all the details in the description, and I'll be sharing more very soon. Thanks for watching this week's video. Let me know in the comments, are you a digital artisan or a digital artisan in the making? I'd love to hear where you are in your journey. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with another designer who's ready to stop piecing things together and wants to start executing. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.